What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in to another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. We are back to Saginaw Bay. Man, I am excited to be back here. This is a special place. You know, the last tournament that we fished here, it turned out pretty well for us, and it was a great week here at Saginaw Bay, Bay City. And we are back for stage 7 on the Bass Pro Tour this year for 2025. And things are going to be a little bit different this year. So we're going to kind of dive in, give you a little preview of what's to come, and give you guys a little bit of my game plan heading into this event. You know, like I said, this is the final event of the year, so there's a lot on the line. You know, a lot of points, obviously qualifications for championships, requalification going on. There's a lot going on in this event, so it's going to be an exciting tournament for you guys to watch. So I want to give you my little thoughts on that and maybe set the scene, help you guys maybe pick a fantasy fishing team, all kinds of things like that going to be in this video. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and let's jump right into it. All right, well, we just finished rigging up all the tackle, getting everything ready for this practice. So practice starts tomorrow as I'm filming this. As you guys are watching this video, practice will be well underway. I believe we will publish this on day 2 of practice. So you guys will be seeing, you know, maybe some updates on social media and things like that as this video launches, but we're going to give you my little thoughts on Saginaw Bay. So we're back here. What is it? It is the August 3rd. It's the first week of August. And yeah, it's nice to be up in the north part of the country, not sweating my butt off. You know, I was able to sit outside here all day. Nice little breeze, you know, just in shorts and a t-shirt. And not be sweating my butt off all day. So that's first positive. I'm loving the weather so far. And you know, the weather's always a big factor when you come to the Great Lakes. It's gonna be no different this week. But really, the big difference between now and 2023 is going to be the format change. So when we were here in 2023, obviously I won the tournament and you know, ended up winning Angler of the Year along with that. But that year, we were a 5-fish limit on the Bass Pro Tour. So this year, every fish counts. Things are going to be a little bit different. You know, that 5-fish limit allowed you to kind of target those smallmouth and not get many bites, but end up with a big 5-fish weight by the end of the day. But now, you know, with the every fish counts, it's going to be a lot more numbers game. You know, you're going to see a lot more power fishing, a lot more largemouth come into play, even more so than you did in 2023. And really, it was dominated by that in 2023. There was only a handful of guys that really figured out the smallmouth and caught those to be worth anything. So really, I think you're going to see even more of that largemouth power fishing, frog fishing, buzz baits, swim jigs, flipping. I mean, it's going to be a heavy cover, heavy tackle largemouth tournament is how I'm foreseeing this tournament going down. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how the smallmouth play it all. You know, obviously I have to go check them. You know, it's what I love to do. I love fishing for smallmouth. So we're definitely going to investigate those smallmouth. But another little caveat onto that is the format this year on the Bass Pro Tour with the forward facing sonar only available for one period. So that's going to play a big role in, you know, being able to fish and target these smallmouth efficiently, and then, you know, kind of strategizing if you can fish for them blind without your forward facing, or have to change areas and maybe fish a different way, or fish for largemouth the second half of the day. So there's a lot of strategy going into this tournament, and it's going to be very interesting to see who figures out that puzzle perfectly this week, plays the conditions the best, and you know, see if maybe them smallmouth can play. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm definitely going to be looking for some of them and hopefully reeling in a few big smallmouth. So I kind of touched on the weather aspect. That's going to be a big factor for me. And you know, the way that I watch the weather is through the app on my phone called the Deep Dive app. So the Deep Dive app, you know, it has all sorts of options on there, but the main two that I'm paying attention to this week is going to be the wind effects. You know, obviously the wind is a huge player anytime you come to the Great Lakes, and Saginaw Bay is no different. So I am paying attention to this wind effects map. You know, it's a very detailed map that shows you exactly where the wind will be crashing into the shoreline, so you can really kind of game plan and forecast you know, what areas may be protected, what areas may not be. And, you know, as you guys can see on the screen, as we scroll through practice, it's going to be a pretty windy practice. And then as we get into the tournament, the wind actually switches direction. And, you know, that's just something that I'm going to be keeping in the back of my mind as this practice goes on, that I want to be able to find some stuff that's going to be protected from that wind during the tournament, because, you know, the wind can really affect your fish here. So, you know, to me, looking at this wind effects feature on the Deep Dive app, you know, it's looking like I need to find something along that southeastern shoreline to really be protected. So, you know, I'm definitely going to spend some time in practice in that area looking for something that will be protected as the tournament goes on. So the other feature that I'm really paying attention to is the stream flow feature. Now, this is not necessarily for, you know, the wind or whatnot, but this is going to be if we get any rain, or we've had some big rain the last few days, and I'm paying attention to what creeks are actually flowing the most water into the bay, which will mean a couple things. Obviously, it's probably going to be cooler water with oxygen, but I'm also paying attention to that for dirty water. You know, if a big rain comes through and a bunch of water flows into the bay, you can see this stream here I'm showing on the screen actually has a stronger flow rate. So it could be flowing some dirty water into there, and, you know, that may be an area that I want to avoid, or, you know, potentially, you know, could be a good thing if it's nice, clean, fresh water, but you just never really know. But you're able to see those areas more, you know, they stand out very well on this stream flow feature. So you can see those areas to go check out, and you'll know pretty quick if it's muddy, if it's clean, if it's good. So then you can duplicate that quickly on the map and find multiple areas. So those are a couple things that I've been doing here today to kind of game plan, practice, strategize what I'm going to do. You know, as far as baits, it's going to be, we kind of touched on it earlier, it's going to be a power fishing deal for the largemouth. I think the majority of the guys will be doing that. Majority of your high finishes will be from that. So look for, you know, all of your shallow water power fishing guys to do well. If you're trying to pick a fantasy fishing team, I would definitely recommend heavy on the shallow water, grass, swim jig, frogging guys. I think those guys will find what they want and excel in this tournament. And then, like I said, it'll be interesting to see if the smallmouth play. You know, there's a few areas that have some good populations of smallmouth here, so it will be it'll just be very interesting to see how this tournament plays out after the fact. So I'm excited to get out there. I haven't really been out here much since we won, so it'll be fun to get out here and kind of, you know, go through the whole areas again and see if any fish are still living in those same areas. So pretty excited about this one. It should be a lot of fish catching, should be exciting for you guys to watch. So make sure you tune in to MajorLeagueFishing.com this week, Thursday through Sunday. Watch all the live stream and all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Leave me those likes and comments down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.